hold here. And which were the Samrajas and Rajas which had held them off? The Chalukyas, the Rashtrakutas, the Karkotas of Kashmir, the Rajputs. They kept Islam away from getting even a foothold in India up till the 12th century. Once Islam got its foothold here, there were still large parts of India which were never under their control. Large parts of South India, Assam, Orissa, they were never under the Muslim rule for any great significant period of time. The Madurai Sultanate was thrown out within 30 years. You had the Marathas, you had the Vijayanagar kingdom, the Samrajas, you had the Bundelas, you had the Sikhs, you had the Jats, who raised powerful military organizations to combat Islam. And the Islam that came to India was Jihadi Islam. Jihadi Islam is not a phenomenon of the 20th or the 21st century. When Islam came to India, it came as Jihadi Islam. It was only jihad that the Hindu community has faced from 600 AD. We never allowed them to set up any kind of government till 1200. But even after we lost militarily to Islam, Islam was a world-conquering force, let's not forget. And when we lost militarily, see what we threw up. Sanatana Dharma in the form of Acharyas, Bhakti movement, Shastras, the commentaries, the Bhashyas, the abundance of Sanatana Dharma religious literature which came through after we lost militarily. Sanatana Dharma has been the core of Hindu Rajya. It was the core of Hindu Rajya in Southeast Asia for close to 1000 years between 300 AD and 1500 AD. The Rajas and Samrajas of Southeast Asia had Sanatana Dharma as their core. And Sanatana Dharma influenced West Asia, Central Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia. And we have an external affairs ministry today which has made sure that India is surrounded in every state adjoining her by ideologies and religions actively hostile and inimical to Sanatana Dharma and the Dharmi here. Nepal has fallen victim. Bhutan is well on its way to falling victim. Bangladesh, Pakistan, we have lost Sri Lanka also. India failed to step into Sri Lanka. Musharraf has stepped into Sri Lanka. India failed to step into Nepal. China, America and the Maoists have overrun Nepal. Hindu Rajya means territory under my control and territory under my influence. It is the subversion of intellectual India that we believe in the Gujarat doctrine, which says given, surrender, overrun, welcome and decapitate us. What is destroying India today is intellectual subversion in polity, which gives them the ideology upon which the UPA government and even the NDA government to a certain extent functioned. How else can you explain the fact that the NDA government handed over Rajghat to Nirmala Deshpande? It was our government which did that. How else can you explain the fact that it was the NDA which made M.K. Narayanan a member of the National Security Advisory Board? It is intellectual subversion. We are so afraid of people calling us intolerant. When are we going to say, yes, there is a us and there is a them. There are those who belong, there are those who do not belong. But you are welcome. You will be provided with all comforts, respect, the freedom to practice your religion. But you cannot be a part of the Hindu Rashtra. You cannot participate in power. Do we have the courage? We had the courage, and that is why we remained a Hindu Rashtra and a Hindu Rajya. The day we opened all doors indiscriminately And the day we used Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam as our defining characteristic without the strength but from weakness, we have allowed intellectual subversion to weaken us to such an extent that 50 years after independence, the power returned to Hindus. But what kind of Hindus? Hindus who were ashamed to be Hindus, regressive Hindus, deracinated Hindus, Hindus who had no faith in their own civilization. It is Hindus who speak badly of the caste system. It is Hindus who speak badly about our Hindu acharyas and gurus. It is Hindus like C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer who advocated government control of temples. Intellectual subversion. Media. The media has played no less a destructive role. Please understand, the money for media. How many times has the Sangha Parivar bemoaned the fact that we are unable to bring out a national newspaper which will give the leading English dailies a run for their money? Because we think we do not have the resources. Then think of the kind of money that is going into the Hindu, the Times of India, NDTV, CNN, IBN. Please understand, this is money that is coming from outside. When these channels function, they do not have national interest in mind. They do not care about national interest. They have to answer to the hands that is pumping money into their channels and papers. Is it any wonder that they are anti-Hindu? A very, very subtle intellectual subversive activity is taking place, and I'm afraid there is a large section of even intelligent Hindus who have bought into this argument that we need to partner the US and the developed Western nations to fight Islam, not realizing that jihadi Islam was first pacified and used by the Western nations in Afghanistan and in Kashmir. The West has pacified and used Islam to serve Western colonial interests in non-white, non-Christian nations. If we understand this clearly, we will not make the mistake of thinking that we have to partner Western nations in our war against jihad. Also understand that the Western nations are the most bitter critics of Hindu nationalism. You only have to read the annual reports which the US State Department churns out on religious freedom, human rights, and patterns of global terrorism. The language it uses against the RSS, the language it uses against Hindu nationalism. Why did the US refuse visa to Narendra Modi? It was to send a strong signal to NRIs and would-be NRIs in India that if you want accommodation in the US, you have to distance yourself from Hindutva and Hindu nationalism. No meaningful partnership or cooperation is possible with communism, Islam or Christianity. We must allow them to wage their cosmic wars, and if they are warring with each other, sit back, enjoy the fun. Don't think you are going to participate with one of them. None of the three is going to accept Hindu nationalists, Hindu nationalism, Sanatana Dharma or the Dharmi as their equal partners. If anything, they will try to use the gullible sections of the intellectual elite to serve their purpose. The last segment which practices intellectual subversion. I particularly hold